Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into the absolutely fascinating world of modeling complex biology right inside a digital environment. We're looking at exactly how engineers are taking incredibly messy, real-world biological processes and building these dynamic, highly precise digital twins using advanced software. Seriously, if you've ever wondered how we can optimize sustainable energy production without just relying on trial and error, well, you are in the exact right place.
Let's just jump right in. Imagine trying to fix a highly complex, multi-million-dollar wastewater treatment plant. But every time you try to isolate a variable, your biological data essentially returns a 404 not found server error. Historically, attempting to optimize biological waste processes was exactly like hitting that error page. Missing data left this massive gap in our understanding. You literally couldn't see what the microscopic organisms were doing in real time, which meant optimization was basically just a giant guessing game.
To solve this massive blind spot, engineers had to make a hard pivot. They moved away from all that messy, real-world biological guesswork and fully embraced the predictable precision of digital simulation. By using object-oriented equation platforms, specifically open-source software like OpenModelica, they actually found a way to simulate continuous processes over extended timeframes. This isn't just some basic calculator, you know. It's a way to replicate physical reality right inside a virtual sandbox.
Which brings us to Section 1, the biological machine.
Because before you can write a single line of code, you need a solid mathematical framework. And this is exactly where ADM1 comes in. Developed by the International Water Association, the Anaerobic Digestion Model No. provides the foundational blueprint for how microorganisms break down organic matter without oxygen. It takes complex biology and translates it into pure mathematics, giving us the exact stoichiometric coefficients and reaction rates we need to feed into a computer. The precision here is just incredible.
The real trick is understanding exactly where this breakdown begins. As we can see mapped out here, the critical first biological step is the R1 hydrolysis reaction. Think of it as a starter motor. It takes complex substrates, like large carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, and breaks them down into soluble organics like sugars and amino acids. If this R1 step fails, the downstream microbes literally have nothing to eat, and biogas production completely grinds to a halt. It's the ultimate gatekeeper of the entire system.
Moving on to Section 2, building the digital stomach.
Right at the core of our digital simulation is the CSTR, or the Continuous Stirred-Tank Reactor. You can kind of think of the CSTR as our digital stomach. It's the central module in the software where all those hierarchical coding structures interact in real time. It's calculating the reactor volume, the mass transfer, and the initial concentrations of our substances. Basically, it is the virtual arena where the biology and the chemistry actually happen. Now, to track the mass conservation entering and leaving this digital stomach, the model uses explicit inflow and outflow connectors. These connectors are constantly monitoring critical, real-world variables like temperature, flow rate, and the exact concentration of both soluble and particular matter. It absolutely guarantees that what goes into the mathematical model perfectly balances with what comes out. No disappearing data here. Ultimately, why are we doing all this? Well, the goal is to produce sustainable energy. So, to track this, the model includes a dedicated biogas values record that breaks down the flow and composition of 4 crucial gases: methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and ammonia. By keeping a close eye on these virtual outputs, engineers can tweak the inputs to maximize that highly valuable methane yield, and they can do it without ever touching a single physical valve. It's a real game changer. That leads us into Section 3, powering the simulation.
So, with the biological parameters mapped, the software has to run continuous differential algebraic equations to simulate the passage of time and dynamic plant changes. To pull this off, the platform utilizes specific interconnected classes like the biochemical and physicochemical classes. But you really want to pay attention to those bottom 2 elements, pH inhibition and the K function. These ensure realistic environmental constraints. If the virtual pH drops too low or there's a sudden temperature spike, these functions step right in and accurately throttle the virtual microbes. It simulates a real-world system crash before it ever happens in reality.
But look, a plant isn't just biology, right? It's a massive piece of machinery. Moving beyond just the microbes, the simulation environment flawlessly simulates the plant's electrical and heating hardware too. We are talking about plotting signals for difference amplifier circuits, tracking current values, power loss, and even the real-time liquid levels within the plant. It gives us an incredibly holistic view of the entire engineering ecosystem, the whole shebang. Now for Section 4, distilling the data. So, we have this beautifully complex, mathematically dense simulation, but here is the real challenge. You can have the absolute best model in the world, but if you can't explain it to the industry, it has zero impact. Engineers must pivot from deep mathematics to highly targeted communication strategies. They take these complex findings and carefully craft insights specifically designed for engineering professionals, particularly in highly technical regions like the DAX sector, which covers Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
To do this effectively on professional networks, communicators use a very strict, self-imposed limit, exactly 150 words per post. Now, you might be wondering why 150 words? Well, it forces concise, confident, and highly structured communication. It strips away all the academic fluff and delivers pure, applied engineering value directly into the reader's feed.
Using a heavily researched framework, they actually generate 3 distinct types of drafts to ensure this complex data resonates with everyone. Draft 1 is the educational hook. It shares a technical insight and asks a direct question. Draft 2 is the subtle pitch, focusing heavily on real-world application. And Draft 3 establishes the personal expert, connecting the data to broader topics like model-based software development. This 3-pronged approach ensures the data hits different segments of their audience perfectly.
And this next part is a fascinating psychological tactic. To simulate a bold, confident voice, these insights are formatted with 0 empty lines. The result is a highly dense, single-block format. It maximizes visual impact on a scrolling screen and quite literally demands the reader's attention. It visually reinforces the density and the importance of the engineering data being shared.
Ultimately, creating a digital twin allows us to see the unseen. It transforms the way we build, test, and communicate sustainable engineering solutions for the future. We move from hoping our biology works to knowing exactly how it will perform under any condition. So I'll leave you with this thought. As our software becomes completely indistinguishable from physical reality, what other unseen industrial processes are we about to entirely revolutionize next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the data.